Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Masters Fantasy Show presented by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. As always, I got the Masters crew here with me, Dynasty Al, the Doc. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing great. How you
I'm
doing?
good. Yeah, good.
Real good, ready to talk some Dynasty football, ready to talk some running backs. We're going to be talking about three Dynasty running backs that you must own, guys we think you should go get right now. Obviously, the CMCs, Dalvin Cooks, we're not going to talk about them. Everybody knows. We think these are going to be the next guys moving into that upper echelon of running backs. With that said, whichever of you guys want to go first, go ahead.
Al, you want to start?
Let's do it. All right. So in Dynasty, one of the things I love to do is kind of trade for guys going into their third season. Reason being is we get all excited about the current rookies as well as the rookies just from a year ago, but then we start to forget about the guys who were just in that same boat, a year or two before. And for me, Miles Sanders is a guy everybody's kind of sleeping on. Still just 23 years old, going into year three. That offense looks to have a lot more stability, but just kind of a different stability this year with Jalen Hurts coming in, should be the quarterback all year. That offensive line should hopefully be healthy all year. Miles Sanders was a guy we all loved last year, and then because that offense just didn't fire like we thought it could, he's really been sliding down draft boards. He's probably about RB 13, 15 coming off the board, which to me I think is a little crazy because in terms of Dynasty, he's a Dynasty RB1 to me, probably around like 9 or 10, but I'm all over Miles Sanders this year. Go grab him now, and I think the future's bright for him.
Yeah, absolutely love that take. I've talked about Miles Sanders quite a bit, but yeah, you give him a healthy offensive line, a little more stability. Al mentioned. That's going to open everything up for him. And you see flashes of it. There was plenty of games last year where he had like legit top 5 running back in fantasy numbers. It was just a consistency thing with the quarterback situation and the O-line being banged up. I think if they're able to kind of get consistent there, I love him this year. And I wouldn't be shocked if he finished top 5.
Yeah, good stuff. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be the key. He needs to be
Yeah.
productive. That's going to open things up for Miles
Sure.
Sanders. But you're spot on, man. You could get Miles Sanders today a lot cheaper than you could a year ago.
Absolutely.
Today.
Yep.
If you think he's going to be one of them guys moving into the upper echelon, now's the time to pull the trigger on him for sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
You want me to
Doc.
go?
Yeah.
So my pick will be J.K. Dobbins coming into his second year, and I know he's starting to gain buzz as we move into the offseason and the upcoming NFL year. I think Gus Edwards kind of ate into some of his hype last year because Dobbins wasn't able to get that full workload. Gus Edwards will be back, and he will take away some carries, but besides the point, even with Gus Edwards, down the stretch, we started to see what Dobbins was capable of in that Baltimore offense. I think the sky's the limit for him. And as you've seen, if you were watching our trade shows, which if you haven't, go check them out, we've seen a lot of trades where J.K. Dobbins has been part of the trades. And honestly, if those are the prices on J.K. Dobbins, I'm going out there and getting them in any league that I can because I honestly do think, and I'm just throwing top 5 around a lot, but I do think J.K. Dobbins has potential to be top 5. I think, barring injury, he's a lock to finish top 10 this year. I just think he looked incredible in that offense, and you would only think more touches for him this season. I think is going to be huge, and he's going to be a real stud at running back, and you're not going to be able to get him as cheap as you can get him right now, that's for sure. A year from now, I should say.
Yeah, I love that. I'm all over these second-year running backs. J.K. Dobbins, one of my favorite. Great fact about him was, great stat, I should say. Led the league in yards per carry last year, his rookie year, so I think that's pretty sweet. Obviously, Mark Ingram gone now. I also think they'll try and pull back Lamar's rushing a little bit, at least early on in the year. So I think that should, more opportunities for J.K. Definitely like it.
Yeah, I actually agree with you guys wholeheartedly. I was thinking the same thing. Probably dial Lamar back a little bit. Also, hopefully to get, off-season mini camps, spend a little more time. I think last year was an exception for a lot of these rookie running backs. It just didn't get started.
Yeah.
They wanted, I think that read option becomes a lot more lethal between those two next year. Looking forward to it. I'm going to jump in with with the final guy here. Honestly, he's a guy all year last year I wasn't that high on. He didn't really impress me in that Kansas City offense. That's going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Just the last couple of days, been sitting around thinking about it. And I'd actually seen a report where, someone had said to expect some Kareem Hunt years out of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I was looking back to what Kareem Hunt did as a rookie there. I'm looking back to all the mistakes that Kansas City made last year, if you ask me, which was being a little too dependent on the passing game. And we saw it magnified in the Super Bowl. And I really think that, Andy Reid's a smart coach. He's going to dial that back. I think one thing you need to do. Next, I was thinking about the Browns game too. When Patrick Mahomes got hurt, and I'm sitting there thinking like one thing they really need to do is start protecting Patrick Mahomes, and one way to do that is with the run game.
Yeah.
And I expect to see a lot more short passes next year. All the things that we thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire was gonna be last year, I think we'll see this year. And honestly, I've seen a ton of trades. I think the new Dynasty drafts we've been running, I've seen them slip down to the 3rd round. I think this is it. This is the best value you're going to get on this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if in that offense with Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he could I wouldn't be surprised if he has 5, 6 top 8 finishes in this guy. I think now's the time to go get Clyde Edwards-Helaire for sure.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree with that. I think there's a lot of guys who, drafted Clyde with the 1.1 last year who are frustrated and willing to move on from him now, and I think it's definitely the time to go get him. Like you said, I think the Super Bowl kind of really showed they relied way too heavily on the pass all year. I think they're going to come out with the focus to run the ball this year. On top of that, they really invested highly in the interior offensive line.
Right.
So to me, that points to a little more running the ball. Definitely excited about Clyde in year 2.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think he's going to, like you guys have said too, I think Andy Reid has always been good about getting his running backs involved. I don't know if it's a Mahomes thing that he doesn't dump off as much. He's more looking to make plays down the field. But, I think they're, as a unit, going to take a step back a little bit and kind of go back to the bread and butter of an Andy Reid offense. And that is a lot to do with a receiving running back. So I expect Clyde to have a huge bounce back year and then be consistent from there on.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to reiterate it too, because I don't think you can continually have defenses just pinning their ears back, moving for Mahomes play after play. I think they have to fix that. I think they do fix it. Patrick Mahomes is just too valuable.
Yeah.
So for me, I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire going forward.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition of 3 Dynasty running backs we think you should go get right now. Must-own guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. If you're looking for a place to play Dynasty football, MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. We got over 600 Dynasty leagues and growing. Never folded a single one. Promise you won't be disappointed. Any last words, guys?
Thanks for listening.
So thanks for listening, guys.